Hi, I'm Crystal, and I'm the founder of Amazon Sellers Society. When you start selling on Amazon, you quickly discover that there is a little bit of a, let's call it a pain point when it comes to receiving your money from Amazon, especially if you are based in the MENA region, and especially if you are selling on multiple Amazon marketplaces or even on different e-commerce marketplaces in the whole entire world. Well, in this session of The Peak, we're going to be talking about how you're going to be able to receive your money from Amazon or from any e-commerce marketplace, most e-commerce marketplaces from all over the world with different and multiple currencies, how you can easily and effortlessly pay your suppliers, how you can pay VAs, freelancers all over the world easily and effortlessly, and how you can pay your VAT in Europe if you decide to sell on Amazon in Europe. And to help me dissect this whole thing and talk about all of these pain points and the solutions for these pain points, welcome Amit Aurora, International Sales Lead for the MENA region for Payoneer. Hi, Amit.
Hi, Crystal.
Welcome to The Peak.
Hi, Crystal. Thank you so much for inviting us today and giving us opportunity to help sellers in Middle Eastern region. And I'm more than excited and happy to be part of this event, The Peak.
I'm very excited and I'm very honored and humbled to be a brand partner of Payoneer in the MENA region. So I couldn't do The Peak without you and your support. And let's get started. We want to talk about so many solutions that Payoneer can present to Amazon sellers or even e-commerce sellers throughout the Middle East region or throughout the world even. But because we are based in the MENA region, so we're going to be focusing on people who live in this area. And the fact that they think there's no solution or there's no these problems, but there's Payoneer.
Definitely. As you said, our vision is to take businesses beyond borders and help them to grow with the help of our solutions and products which we bring into the market for sellers, especially sellers who are selling on marketplaces like Amazon globally in any part of the world. Alongside with that, we have expert teams who are always ready with their expert opinions and able to help sellers globally in growth of their businesses.
For sure. We'll get started.
For sure. Right. So like Crystal mentioned to the audience, we are talking about the payment solutions which we currently provide to the sellers globally. But before we go into the solutions, what we provide and how we can assist you, I want to bring your attention to certain facts and certain points over here. Right. The last year was the start of pandemic globally, and there are obviously the pandemic brought in a lot of worries and a lot of challenges. But if we talk from a positive side, if we look at the graphs which are featuring over here, clearly the amount of growth in terms of percentage which has happened in the last 10 years, more than that, the amount of e-commerce growth in the e-commerce industry we have seen in just 1 year of time, not even 1 year. If you talk about like 4 or 5 months of the last year, that kind of growth has seen. So
that's astounding, by the way. That's an incredible graph.
Right. So if we talk about the basically pandemic has changed the way the world is buying these days, and the change have all changed the ways permanently the way sellers are selling these days on marketplaces, right? So, and if we talk about specifically into the Middle Eastern region, there have been the numbers are just out of the park, right? If we look at 844% growth, 400% growth in terms of the total e-commerce business which is happening across from these geographies. So we are placed in a very right scenarios as in when we talk about the e-commerce business or the cross-border business is concerned, and the world is buying majority of the things online. right?
Mhm.
If we talk about going forward, there are more than 2.1 billion shoppers who are buying on a daily basis through the global websites, right? You may be wondering about, let's say you have a business where you are only selling in domestic regions. Let's say you're a seller based out of UAE. You are only selling in
Mhm.
UAE, not even in, let's say, in Saudi Arabia.
Yeah.
Uh, but the demand for products globally is so high that people have power to financial powers to buy across the products and
Mhm.
try various products which are sold in the different regions of the globe, right? So there is a huge demand for products from global websites as well, right? However, when we talk about the opportunities, with opportunities definitely come certain challenges. And when we talk about cross-border merchants, the challenges are not very different from which a seller may be facing who's based out of UAE, or a seller who's based out of Europe, or a seller who's based out of China,
For sure.
right? So,
For
but
sure.
when we are talking about specifically about the Middle Eastern region, I tried identifying a few of the challenges
Mhm.
which the sellers may be facing across in the MENA region. The list is not limited to this, or it is not necessary that everyone will be facing these challenges, but these are the prominent ones on which we would like to talk about and see how Payoneer can assist, right? The biggest challenge, like the topic of this session itself talks about, is receiving payments, right? At the end of the day, yes, payments is something which comes much later in the entire cycle of the ecosystem. However, it is one of the most important aspect where when somebody trying to sell cross border need to consider, because if you do not have a right payment solution, you will not be able to sell your products, or you would not want to sell your products into the market where you are unknown, because those are the markets which are unknown to you. Those are the markets which you don't know about the compliances or various regulations in those particular markets. What are the taxations which you need to file across on those ones, and you never know on your product what exactly the value you are getting, because you may not be sure about what is the FX or the currency conversion may apply, right? And plus, apart from that, if the entire thing goes in this fashion, it becomes challenging to pay across your suppliers as well, because you may be
Mhm.
sourcing your products not only from within your country, but you must be sourcing the products from cross border as well, right? So there are a lot of conversion, a lot of hassles which comes into the picture, and these are the primary challenges, but not limited to this, which Payoneer addresses for all the sellers globally. And we would like to bring account how we do that is we are a multinational company. We are present globally. The slides talks about 4 million customers which are currently using our services. We have a global relationship and a network with more than 2,000
والله
marketplaces and
الكاميرا.
platforms globally, and we support more than 100 currencies globally.
Mhm.
So these are the few of the networking or a network or the solutions which we bring it upon. I will walk through them as we go along, but before that, I would like to share a story of a brand from which is associated with Payoneer, and
Yeah.
which has been doing a business with us from a very very long time. I'm pretty sure it's a global brand, and I'm pretty sure not if
Mhm.
not all of you, many of you would be aware of this particular brand. The brand is called as Oki. Oki is one of
Mhm.
the electronic manufacturer based from China, which is selling globally in I don't know which country they are not selling into, but their products are sold globally, and they are one of the biggest sellers who are selling on Amazon as well. In Amazon.com, if we talk about specifically, of course, they are selling on other marketplaces as well, and in the same category, they are one of the largest sellers. So how Payoneer brought about why, and we are a proud payment partner with Oki, which we have uh, helped them to grow into various geographies through through our network of marketplaces which are available with
Mhm.
us. We, as I said, we are a multinational company. We work very closely with marketplaces. When we talk about marketplaces, it's all of Amazon's marketplaces plus various other
Yeah.
marketplaces as well. We maintain greater relationships with them, and because of that relationship, we are able to leverage or able to pass on certain benefits of those relationships to our customers as well, in terms of, let's say there is a expedited launch, or there is some sort of a promotion which is only exclusively available for customers who are Payoneer customers, things like that, right? Alongside with that, we also maintain a global network of service providers across with us, right? And how does this global network of service providers assist? Let's say, for example, Oki wanted to sell across in, or wanted to start selling in UK. All right, there are taxations which need to be paid across, or the VAT which you need to pay in UK to sell your products. Now, Oki had a 1 point stop for them to come across to Payoneer and ask them about why don't you introduce me to one of the service providers who can help me register for a VAT number in UK, right? So we had a service provider who
Yeah.
would be able to assist them across in those fronts, and then through our platform they were able to pay their suppliers, pay VAT
Yeah.
and to their suppliers as well. The third most important part, when you start selling on various marketplaces, let's say today you are selling on Amazon.com, tomorrow you start selling on Mexico, or in Canada, or in Saudi Arabia, or in Singapore, whichever Amazon marketplace you start selling on, there will be funds coming in from all the marketplaces all together when you start earning or start selling your products, right? The reconciliation, as important as it is to receive payments from marketplaces, at the same time it is very important to reconcile against the sales what you have done, to maintain the records. So we have our product solutions which are available, which help you to reconcile that. And if it is an advanced level of reconciliations or things which you are looking forward for, we have our partners which are available with us in those categories as well, which we can help. So with Payoneer, it's not only about when we talk about, it's not only about payments. It's about a complete ecosystem which we try to bring it to the customers globally, right? Which may range from, of course, which may range from the best of the FX conversion rates. I spoke about the VAT payments. I spoke about various ecosystem of customers plus marketplaces, plus the most important part in my mind is, apart from that, is our customer support teams, or our account customer success managers, which are available for our VIP customers as well. And these are the teams which makes real difference between the services which we provide across to our customers, right? And our customer support is available 24/7 as well. Apart from, there are other services as well. So this is in general, I would talk about our all the kind of solutions or the products which we are providing globally. And anybody would have any questions around this, I would request to keep sending them through the chat so that we can
Yes.
take that later on as well. uh, Walking through these
I'll
ones
also,
about.
Amit, tell everyone who's watching us right now live, make sure you click the thumbs up button so that YouTube can know that you like the information that we're sharing with you now. And so if you're excited to learn more about Payoneer, and if you do have a Payoneer account, how you can really utilize that account to its full potential.
Definitely. So any of like what Crystal said, follow across on that as well. And any of you already who are Payoneer customers and are using us and want to know more about the functionalities or the new products or the new upgraded products which we are bringing into the picture, I will be sharing across the contact details as well. And you can definitely raise your questions over here as well while on the chat, and we will definitely get back to you with regards to all the solutions what you may need, right?
Till the
When
end.
At the end, of course.
Yeah.
Right. So I was talking about our customers base as well, right? And these are the customers who are your partners as well. Let's say if you are selling on any of these marketplaces, or you are dealing with any of these business segments, Payoneer can be your one-stop solution for any of your payment requirements, or any sort of added or the support services which you may need for these segments or for these marketplaces available across the world, right? How do we help you guys, right? if let's say, for example, you are selling in Amazon.com in US or in UK, right? And you would like to receive payments, we provide you with the local virtual bank account numbers, where these are your unique account numbers which belongs to you. This will be like an example given across to you. Let's say you hold a Payoneer account, you have a USA bank account number sitting in UAE itself. Without traveling to USA, you have a bank account number which you can use to collect your payments from marketplaces or from B2B businesses as well, right? Uh, the other kind of a solutions, if we talk about bank transfers through Payoneer, are quite easy. When we talk about bank transfers, I was talking about the local collection accounts or the local virtual bank account numbers. We provide them in US, UK, Europe, Japan, China, Australia, Canada, Singapore. These are the locations where we provide you with the local bank account number. So if you are selling on marketplaces like Amazon on these geographies, or if you have your B2B business as well, which is your direct
Yep.
business or direct exports, you can utilize these bank account details to collect payments. And it's not only limited to collecting payments. Once you collect the payments, there are multiple things which you would be able to do or utilize your funds for, right? That is where the differentiator between a traditional banking and banking with Payoneer, which comes into the picture, right? Uh, if we talk about the other ones, the ones which I spoke about right now as well, let's say you are a exporter who's you are a marketplace seller, but you are also
Yep.
exporting goods to the offline suppliers, let's say based out of uh, any of the countries. Let's say Nigeria or Egypt, for example, where we do not, and the customers over there would like to pay across to you through their credit card, right? We have a facility where you can generate a link for the payment. You can send out the link to the customer directly
Yep.
from the Payoneer platform, and they can use their international credit cards to make payments across to you. It is as fast and easy, right? So it's basically so for example, if you talk about let's say there is a payment of $300 which you are expecting. I'm just taking a random amount. uh, a person from sitting in Egypt, if he needs to pay you $300 in USD, there is a lot of hassles, right? Because there will be n number of questions
Yes.
which his bank will ask. There will be uh, there will be a huge amount for just processing $300 from Egypt. I'm just taking examples.
Yes, of
Spare
course.
me if I am being very partial for a country. The country which came to my mind, I've just taken it up. Uh, but just to pay that $300 or to receive that $300, your customer may have to pay $30 to $50 fees as well, right?
Yeah.
And it can be a 7-day or 8-day process. With Payoneer, it is as easy as a click of a button. The charges are it will be one of the most economical transactions which you will do, and it will be mental peace in terms of, so we want you to concentrate on the best what you do, which is selling your product, which is doing your own export business. Your rest of the things which are talking about the cross-border payments or anything, leave those things across to us and we will help you out and we will solve those across for you guys, right?
Yeah.
So these are the kind of solutions which are available across with Payoneer. We already spoke about VAT payments, which if you are a seller who are selling in UK or in Europe, you are required to pay VAT for selling your products into those countries. We have a set of service providers who can help you to register for VAT as well. And at the same time, from your Payoneer platform itself, you will be able to pay your VAT directly, and that is absolutely free of cost. Right? That is the biggest advantage what you have across with us. I
Free.
spoke
We like
free.
that word.
Right, definitely. So the one thing which I spoke about as well. Let's say you are a seller who's based out of UAE, and UAE we have seen there are a lot of there are a lot of sellers who sell on Amazon or any other marketplaces, but these products are not traditionally exported from UAE. These products are basically, if we talk about the population of sellers, the majority of them are either resellers who are based out of UAE, who are buying products, let's say from Saudi Arabia or from China or from any other part of the world, and selling them on the marketplaces as well, right?
Yeah.
So in those cases, you have a need to pay to your suppliers as well. And if you imagine you receiving payments from Amazon in US, getting that converted into local currency, and then you have to again pay it across to a local currency to a supplier based out of a third country. Imagine the amount of money you will lose in 2 times of FX or 3 times of
Yeah.
FX, right? So Payoneer, once the money is there in your Payoneer account, you will be able to, if your supplier holds a Payoneer account, the transaction again is absolutely free, the word which most of us like. If you are paying across into the local bank accounts of those people, it's a fixed charges which we can apply. It's economical than paying through the bank wires and other things. So it's a one-stop solution for pay-ins to receive payments, and it provides multiple solutions to you to do your payouts as well, whether it is from to withdrawal to your own bank account for your own use,
Yeah.
whether you want to use it on a card. We provide virtual cards as well, which we call it as digital purchasing card, which cards can be used on for paying your when we talk about to pay your, let's say you are running your ads and things like that on Google or on Facebook or on
Social
Instagram,
media. Yeah.
right? So you have you need not to worry about how do you pay them, right? You can directly pay using our digital
Mhm.
purchasing cards, which can be directly be accepted by them, and the transaction fees is like as minimal as it can be, right? So these are the kind of a benefits what we have in terms of providing to the sellers. So just to sum it up, I would not say that we are just a payment provider, but we take a pride in calling ourselves a ecosystem enabler who bring in all the substance or the objects of the entire ecosystem together, ranging it from payments to somebody who wants to get their account managed for their Amazon stores or anything, to somebody who are looking for, let's say, cataloging services. We have solutions for everything across available with us through directly through us or through our service providers who are vetted before they are onboarded to be called as Payoneer service providers as well, right? So we bring in the entire ecosystem, and I see a lot of potential across in terms of in the Middle Eastern region. The graph in the initial stage, which I showed across, is the testimony to that thing, and we are more than happy to assist any of the sellers to grow through their business into any of the geographies where we can help them out with. To be on a very very straightforward line, I don't say that everyone succeed, but we definitely love to help or to love to take so businesses who are really really interested to go beyond, and whichever geographies where their businesses best suits in, we will be more than happy to take them through to that place.
Thank you so much for the offer, Amit. For everyone who's watching and who doesn't have a Payoneer account, make sure that you scan the QR code so you get a special promotion on getting a Payoneer account. So that's fantastic. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Can we dissect a little bit? And everyone, please go ahead and type in your questions, because we want Amit to answer as many questions as you have. But let me start with my question. What does it take to open an individual Payoneer account? And let's assume that someone has a business and they want to open an account on Payoneer. Is it how long does it take? What is required?
Right. So I really can't comment on how long it would take to open up a Payoneer account, because it's just a simple
I'll
four-step
comment. It
process.
doesn't take a long time.
Yeah. So it's just a
Normally.
four-step process. So how fast you are able to enter your details, that much of time it will take to complete the sign up. And of course, there are certain documentation which is needed. And once you upload those documents, the account is reviewed. So ideal time what we talk about is 24 to 48 hours. I see average time to get an account approved is 4 to 5 hours, but 48 hours, if all thing is correct, within 48 hours your account will be opened up. There is no major difference between opening up an individual or business account. If you have a company, it is always advisable to open a company account, because of course you will want to run your business and do the accountancy and everything through your company account, and your chartered accountants and other people will suggest you onto the same front. It's just that if you are opening as an individual account, you need to provide ID documents of an individual. If you are opening a company account, you need to provide supporting documents which proves that your company exists, alongside with the contact person ID proofs. So that's I think I answered your question.
Yeah, perfectly.
Yeah.
Let's start with one of the questions. So we've got several of these of this comment. Does the other person, actually, that's not the one. That's the one. So does the person need to have, the person who's receiving the money, do they also have to have a Payoneer account?
So you mean to say, I'll just clarify, right? So let's say there is a seller
Yes.
who's based out of let's say UAE, and he has a Payoneer account in which he has a balance as well, and he wants to pay across his supplier in China. So you mean to say, does a supplier in China necessarily need to have a Payoneer account? Is that the question?
I believe those are the comments, yes.
Right. So it is not necessary for anybody to have a Payoneer account who's receiving the payments from a Payoneer seller, who is holding a Payoneer account. It is advisable, because if it is a Payoneer to Payoneer transfer, let's say you are a seller in UAE and you have a supplier in China, both of you have a Payoneer account, you send, let's say, $1,000 right now. In another 10-15 seconds, or in 2 minutes or 3 minutes, that $1,000 will start featuring in his account. If it is a Payoneer's receiver,
and the transaction is going to be free.
And transaction is going to be free. If it is not a Payoneer receiver, or who does not have a Payoneer account receiver, then it may take up to 48 hours to 4 days as well, depending on the country where the transfer is happening, because then there are permutation combination of various banks which comes into the picture into between when we process the transfers get applied.
Okay, perfect. So the receiving person does not have to have a Payoneer account, even though it would be to both parties' advantage.
Right.
The sender and the receiver.
Right.
Perfect. One more question, Amit. Let's say I'm an Amazon seller and I sell in multiple marketplaces. Can I use the same Payoneer account for all of these marketplaces? Let's say when I open Payoneer, of course, I chose to use my USD bank account, and I can enter my USD bank account into all of these Amazon marketplaces, and there's not going to be a problem?
You need not to use your USD account into all of the marketplaces of Amazon. So let's say if you would have seen across onto one of my slides, we give virtual bank accounts in US, UK, Europe, Japan, China, Australia, Canada, Singapore. And I believe these are the places where prominent Amazon marketplaces are available.
Yes.
Right? So you will use the local currency bank accounts, which we are providing across to you for these particular geographies. What it will do is it will save you conversion from the Amazon side, right? So let's say if you would have entered a USD bank account into Amazon Singapore, first Amazon Singapore would have converted Singapore dollar to USD to come across to your account, and there would have been a one conversion already been done. However, if you would have entered a Singapore dollar currency account which is issued by Payoneer to you, there is no conversion which is done by Amazon. So you bring in the money into your Payoneer account, and you can then utilize the money the way you want to utilize it.
Perfect. Amit, what I don't know how to explain it or to ask the question, but of course a lot of people are worried to step away from a traditional banking system or a banking institution. So what are the security checks or something like that Payoneer has to go through in order for us as sellers and people who use Payoneer? Of course, I use Payoneer myself. to make sure that our money is safe and secure and nothing's going to happen to it?
Right. So, to be very, very straightforward here, we actually work with banks itself, right? Because at the end of the day, our partner banks, which work with us, and they take money from one country to another, and we work with renowned banks globally. To name few of them is Bank of America, Citibank, and many of the other banks as well, right? So these are the kind of banks which works with us. Second thing, but that second thing is that we are regulated in most of the
Yeah.
geographies, which means we are binded by the law in those particular geographies as well. So we are regulated in US, in UK, in Japan, in India, or whichever geographies we work across and with, right? We are regulated, so it's 100%, and we are PCI DSS certified. So that's one of the top security levels which you can get in any of the financial or any of the fintech companies, right? And the last, but for me that is the most important thing, right? We work very closely and with many of the big brands very exclusively as well. Likes of, like, we are trusted by Amazon, we are trusted by
Yeah.
Google for their payments, we are trusted by Walmart for their payments, right? We are exclusive partners with Airbnb as well, into other, if I talk about the other segments.
True.
So if I would say, if anybody has any sort of a doubt that what exactly, whether their funds are secured with us or not, they need not to worry, and they should not have any doubts, because the brands like this trust Payoneer with millions or billions of their dollars on a yearly basis, which we move for them. So that is the kind of a credibility, and that is the kind of a technology or assurance or trust which we bring in for our customers and for these giants as well.
Exactly. Thank you so much. Fahim is saying, okay, let's start off with his first question, actually. Okay, sorry. The comments are very similar to each other. So why we need a Payoneer account to do transaction for individual or company? Is it an important thing for international transactions?
So I don't say that Payoneer is the only way to do international transactions. Payoneer is, if I talk about Payoneer, like I said before, we are a payment platform which enables businesses to do transactions globally in a much more economical and a faster way, right? That's what I would say over here as well. It is with Payoneer, the transactions are really, really easier, faster, economical. At the same time, we are more of a e-commerce or a B2B business focused organization. So our products are very, very suitable for businesses, for SMEs, for SMBs, or for freelancers, for any of the people who are doing cross-border business. So that is one of the major reason which a seller or any SME, SMB, or any freelancers should look to use Payoneer for their businesses if they are doing cross-border business. And if there are any sort of again, as I said in my previous answer to my previous questions, if there are any sort of trust issues, just look at the companies whom we work with, or feel free to reach out to us, and we will be very, very happy to get you rid of any of the trust issues which you may have on Payoneer.
Perfect. Last comment and last question from Taranum. Selling on Amazon or selling in KSA, difficult to receive funds from KSA. Again, just it's the same question, but just to make it a little bit more, to answer it again, does the person who is going to be receiving the money, or let's assume I want to get a payment from somebody, does that person need to have a Payoneer account?
Not necessarily, right? So for example, specifically for this question, if I will answer first, and then
Yes.
I'll make it a generalized answer. For a seller selling it, let's say you are selling to somebody in KSA and you want to receive payments from there, and you want to use Payoneer. Firstly, he need not to have a Payoneer account. It is not necessary. But if he doesn't have a Payoneer account and he doesn't have a balance in his Payoneer account, also, then in that case, the only option for you to pay or to receive payments using Payoneer from this customer sitting in KSA would be through his credit card. So what you can do is we have something called as billing services. You can go to your Payoneer account, you can use billing services, generate a link, send out that link to that person, and that person or your buyer sitting in KSA can make payments using his international Master or Visa credit card in USD. The payment, it can be done to you in USD using his international credit card sitting out of KSA, right?
Technically
But
speaking, you'd be creating a type of invoice which is paid online
yes,
by the customer or
right,
whoever is going to pay it via their credit card instead of doing it
right,
through bank transfer.
right. That's 100% correct. Now, flipping the scenario, if the person had a Payoneer account as well, who's sitting on who's sitting in KSA, and let's say he has a balance, but the balance, when I talk about it, is important because you cannot fund your own Payoneer account. It's a business account where you can only fund the payment through any payments for any services or products which you have sold across. It's not that you can remove money from your bank account and put it in your bank account. So if he has funds in his Payoneer account, if he holds, then it's absolutely free of transaction for him to send the money to you, and it will be few minutes in which you will receive the money.
Exactly. Perfectly put. Amit, thank you so much for your time. And I want to say thank you for Payoneer because I know you guys are heavily investing in the MENA region. So
Of
we're very
course.
excited to have Payoneer as a solution for all businesses based in the MENA region. Anything
Sure.
else you would like to say?
No, you said it correctly. We are investing heavily into MENA region. It is one of the most important geographies for us for this year, and I'm sure it will remain for a few more years to coming forward as well. And we will keep on investing heavily into this market. At the same time, we are seeing a lot of sellers who are also growing and want to start selling on markets outside of MENA as well. But when we talk about trade within MENA, which is, let's say, Saudi to UAE or UAE to Saudi to Kuwait or to North African regions, it's huge, right? And there are challenges. It's not that there are no challenges. So anybody who has any sort of a trade which is happening within MENA or outside of MENA, wherever, feel free to reach out to us, and we will be more than happy to assist you all in using Payoneer services. And
Perfect.
thank you so much, Crystal, for giving us this opportunity. It is really always nice to have a conversation across with you over here and helping sellers in your in the region, in MENA region, to succeed and grow. And proud to be part of the peak.
Thank you so much, Amit. And thank you
Thank
for
you.
everyone who's watching live or anyone who's watching the recording of this on our YouTube channel. Thank you so much. And I'll see you soon. Bye, Amit. Bye, everyone.
Bye bye.